Good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members, for the opportunity to testify. My name is Zach Whiting. I'm a policy director at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, and I think, Mr. Chairman, to your opening remarks, this is one of the most important interim hearings that will be heard. We can talk about property taxes and stuff till we're blue in the face, which the foundation loves to do, but this is the core of it: is the role of the state in protecting kids from harmful and exploitative acts by others. In addition to the bill that y'all worked on and unanimously passed last year, HB 2700, you did a great job considering other efforts on kids' online safety, age verification for pornography, which was HB 1181, and device filtering was a bill that was considered but not adopted. And the age verification for pornography bill is an interesting angle. It protects minors from accessing the generative sites, but it doesn't speak to the sort of creation itself like HB 2700 did. So they're good efforts joined together. Before I moved to Texas, I was a state senator in Iowa, and I was on the Judiciary Committee, and I was privileged to be on the Judiciary Committee and carried the unfortunate honor of having to carry a lot of these horrible bills, sex abuse and the like, and having the witnesses that testified before were indispensable to that effort, finding those areas where we couldn't quite prosecute that person and finding ways to enhance it. As folks exhaustively noted before, folks are always a step ahead. The criminals are always a step ahead. One of the technologies that I came across, and I will say this, it's called PP Nude. I'm not exactly proud to tell my wife I visited that site yesterday in a public forum, but I go onto that website and it's all about generating deepfake pornography to HB 1181. When I went to that website yesterday, I did not have to verify my age to access that. So that may be one of those websites where there's a gap where HB 1181 might need to be enforced. And some of these websites, you can create this content for free and in less than 25 minutes. For 60-second videos, it can be done, I think, in around 25 minutes. For static images, I'd imagine it's much shorter. And as limited amount of times I tried to stay on this sick website, what the website does is it provides a step-by-step free process for leveraging the technology. They boast on their website, they have an advertising tool to undress any girl. With just a few clicks, you can generate a highly realistic nude image by AI deepfake. And then to sell that point, they have two photos side by side. They have a woman in a cream dress, and then next to that, they have a woman who is undressed with her breasts and her private parts covered in a sticker that says 18 with a red circle and a line through it, indicating that the woman is to not be 18 years old. That's the kind of stuff that we're facing today. I think to Senator King's question earlier is how can we better serve parents? There are, as was mentioned, there's a lot of great filter companies out there that offer services that my wife and I use. There are some other groups that do trainings. We'd be happy to, off the top of my head, I can't list them, but we have good relationships with those groups. And I think that's one of the things that we talked about in the broader kids online safety conversations that we had last session on bills like HB 18 and others, that parents think it's harder to parent in the digital age. 66% in one poll, and 86% of parents think that sexually explicit content is too easy for kids to find. It's not the magazines, under the bed. It's right here on your phone. 2 points I just would comment on from the testimony of others. We had a meeting with NCMEC, so I don't want to speak for NCMEC, but I would just convey the message that I heard is, for all of the reports that are given, the information is often too minimal for them, they feel, to be actionable. And so maybe if there's a way within state law for perhaps companies operating in Texas to ensure that there's sufficient information in the reports to NCMEC that may give NCMEC or law enforcement a chance for it to be actionable, because you can report anything you want, but if you can actually make it actionable for law enforcement and prosecutors, that would be helpful. And perhaps that's a federal solution that we could work with our federal partners as well. And if I could take off my TPPF hat and put on my former senator hat and my constituent of Senator Campbell's hats, I have a lot of hats. To Senator King, your question, go bold, shake the 8 ball. The state of Texas has been a leader in advancing strong bills to keep kids safe online. And when those bills are challenged by other groups, in some cases, in the case of 1181, courts have upheld it. And so go bold, push the envelope. And where something doesn't work, as y'all mentioned, come back and try it again. That's my constituent of Senator Campbell hat that I'm wearing. And then just on a personal note, I should have registered for myself instead of for the foundation. But when I was in the Senate, I was a big champion for survivors, and I think that's a critically important thing. Y'all do great work for survivors, but as we're here considering bills about how we punish wrongdoers, let's always look to make sure that the needs and resources of survivors are considered in this as well. Just to conclude, we're here to support you and your staff however we can to address these challenges. On the issue of AI specifically, we're currently writing a comprehensive AI research paper. Good and bad use cases will be things we talk about. There'll be a section on sort of nefarious use cases, much in the vein of what we're talking about today, and we'll be happy to share that with you and your staff when it's completed. And I do thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Senator King.